Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some of the stocks on the move today then in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepker with Valerie Teitel, and we're joined by Bloomberg reporter Chloe Millay. Good morning.
Good morning.
So automation and robotics in focus firstly. Schneider Electric, there's been a bullish view from JPMorgan. Does the market agree?
It seems like they do. So Schneider Electric shares were up this morning, as well as Siemens Energy. So both of those companies were upgraded by JPMorgan analysts, with those analysts saying that they have a really bullish view on the European capital goods sector going into 2026. They said that the sector setup is the best that it has been for quite a few years, and that is thanks to the sector's exposure to areas where there's a lot of momentum. So of course we're thinking about power generation, grid expansion, data centers, of course, with this AI story that is continuing. There's also improvement in European PMIs, and so that's also helping out. Higher metal prices, an improving outlook in China, also the boost from the German fiscal stimulus that is going to come through next year. So all of those factors are essentially reunited for a good 2026 for that sector, and Schneider Electric and Siemens Energy are set to be benefiting from that in particular. For Siemens Energy, the expectations are particularly high. The analyst said that the earnings growth is casting shade on the rest of the coverage. So there's also good free cash flow potential through to the 2040s. So it is quite the praise for Siemens Energy, and therefore we're seeing those two companies rising this morning.
Well, let's shift to the auto sector, because in the U.S. session yesterday, some of these autos were flying on the back of some hopes around deregulation when it comes to the Trump administration. We're seeing a positive session here in Europe today. Mercedes on the back of an upgrade?
Yeah, Mercedes, also Renault, and also Porsche were all raised at Bank of America. So there's really a vote of confidence in that car-making sector after what has been quite a few setbacks. Of course, this year we had, of course, US tariffs that are really weighing on that industry, but also really continued competition in China, where those European car makers are really struggling to maintain market share against Chinese manufacturers, and then also a slowdown in the electric vehicle market. So there were a lot of different challenges for that industry this year, but it seems that things might be turning around for the sector. And as you mentioned, we have those news of deregulation boosting those stocks as well. We've also now got more clarity on tariffs. We also have signs that EV demand for affordable models specifically is also picking up in Europe. So it seems to be doing better. The main problem that we're going to have next year for that sector is going to be those competitive pressures in China that are expected to still be there. And Citi analysts just yesterday actually cut some earnings estimates for BMW and Mercedes in particular because of that continued weakness in China. So that's just one negative spot there.
Okay. We're keeping an eye on what's going on in European stocks, and especially positive EU stocks. STMicro, what is driving that progress?
So STMicro, but also other kind of chip names like ASM, etc., up this morning on this kind of optimism around the AI trade at the moment. We had that going on as well yesterday with some upbeat commentary, bullish commentary from companies like Marvell and Microchip. We also have some read across today from Cambricon saying that it will triple the production of AI chips in 2026. So those chip stocks in Europe have gone kind of up and down throughout the last few weeks as fears of an AI bubble kind of come back and retreat and then resurface again. But right now there seems to be actually quite positive sentiment. Perhaps it's only a matter of time before the market starts to worry again about how much money is being spent on those AI investments. But for now, it's quite a bullish, positive view, and STMicro is benefiting from that.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.